Guys, James here with Waterford Business Solutions, continuing our discussion on K-1s. Last week we talked about K-1s for a 1065 follower, and this week we're going to talk about K-1s for an 1120S follower. Again, any business, any pass-through entity, like a partnership, like an LLC, like a small business corporation, they all have to pass their profits along to their shareholders, to their members, to their partners, for them to report it or for them to pay on their tax return, unlike a regular C corporation. So any business who elects to be taxed as a small business corporation or elects to file an 1120S, then they are going to have to produce this K-1 for their shareholders. For those of you wondering, what does it take to elect, who can elect, everything like that, please feel free to go watch our video on that S-Corp election or visit our webpage on that S-Corp election. Those are all wonderful things to do there. Now understand with this election here that you will prepare an 1120S, and that 1120S will report all of the income for the business over time or over the tax year. Now that 1120S is then going to produce K-1s for any of the shareholders, because now that we're a small business corporation, we have shareholders. Now a 1120S K-1 is much simpler than a 1065 K-1. We went over a lot of different things there last week on a 1065 that don't apply here, which is why I broke this down into two different videos. Now understand, all S corporations, when you file your 1120S, you have to file your K-1 and you have to provide it to your shareholders so that they can provide it or record it on their personal income taxes. You must file a Schedule K-1 anytime you file an 1120S to pass this along, so please be aware of that. You can do that filing in a myriad of different ways, whether you're filing with TurboTax, a software, something like that, whether you're doing it yourself, whether you're using a national tax firm, whether you're using a local CPA. Anyone can help you prepare that K-1. And you can easily e-file it or mail it in with your business tax return or your personal tax return. Now, the biggest difference between an 1120S and a 1065 K-1 is we don't have partnership interests, liability accounts, capital asset accounts, anything like that. There is no breakdown here like we have in a partnership. Even if you are a partnership and you choose to be taxed as an S-Corp, now all you have is a percentage of ownership of that S-Corp, and that percentage of ownership is for any losses, any gains, any assets. That is, you own everything as a whole. There is no breakdown tax-wise. So do be aware of that. There's also no guaranteed payments, so that you don't have to run into that general income, that 15.3% income like we talked about for self-employed taxes. The reason for this is S-Corp owners are required, if anyone is an active partner, an active member in the S-Corporation, they have to take a reasonable salary. That is now your guaranteed payment. That reasonable salary, you're going to be paying in your self-employed taxes, your Social Security and Medicare on that salary. Whereas in a partnership or an LLC that doesn't tax as an S-Corp, those you can have a guaranteed payment that isn't taxed at time of taking because it's not a salary, it's not a paycheck as you are an employee. So do be aware of that. The benefit to all of that is any extra draws that you take out, any extra payments that you take out, not that we can call them guaranteed, but you could be told, hey, every year you're going to get an extra $10,000, whatever. Those aren't taxed for self-employed taxes. So you save 15.3% on that as long as you are taking a reasonable salary if you are actively involved. So do be aware of that. We go over a lot of those benefits in our election for an S-Corp video. So again, go back and watch that if you have questions or need to know more. Now this K-1, it's going to be produced as you're filing your 1120S. You're going to file that generally by March 15th without an extension so that you can then go ahead and pass those K-1s on to your shareholders so that they can claim it on their 1040 on their personal returns by April 15th. Again, you can file an extension, but March 15th is the general deadline so that you can pass this stuff on along. As always, guys, if you have more questions, if you have more concerns, need help filing, whatever, please feel free to call, email, whatever, get in touch with us. You can visit us online at waterfordbusinesssolutions.com or email us at info@waterfordbusiness.com, and we'll be happy to help you guys out. Have a wonderful rest of your day.